one of your opponents, the former Assemblyman Brian Dahle in the forum, said that the state of Jefferson is done. It won't happen, or he's done with it. And it won't happen because Republicans brought it up and it got one vote in committee. As a rural Democrat, you actually agree with Republicans on some issues in the forum. I mean, you of course advocate for water storage in the ground as a cheaper way and a more environmental way to store water, but you do think that Sites Reservoir should go forward as planned. There's a lot of stuff with fire and our forests that you agree on, some other things. But as a rural Democrat, you know, do you think it's time that the North State Republicans and Democrats work with the Democratic majority to push issues and tell state Democrats when they're wrong? I mean, like, I guess I said it before, is they're just a no vote. And there doesn't seem to be discussion, or their voice doesn't seem to really push through to the Democratic majority in a way that maybe a rural Democrat who's, you know, follows the rural Democratic caucus platform and says, you know, you're taking all this money from telecom and we're getting zero taxes. Telecom has to pay zero in taxes, but we're not getting any rural broadband. Yeah. So what is the help here? And it's the same in industry after industry of, you know, I guess I take it from a place of our exports up here. Our exports are our water, electricity, and our children. Because we don't have the vocational training like maybe some of the European countries have that can keep our kids here and working. And you definitely spoke about that too, and sort of your husband's trade, and I certainly was like that. I mean, I tried the institution thing, and I ended up falling back on my skill sets, and it's just not for some people. So.
That's a lot to unpack. Let me start. Let me start at the very first sentence that you said. Yeah. Former Assemblyman Brian Dahle. He's our current Assemblyman, as is Kevin Kiley, one of the other opponents. So if either of them get elected, fiscally responsible Republicans, that'll trigger yet another special election, you know, which will have to be paid by the counties, by the citizens in our district. To
fill the assembly seat.
To fill the assembly seat. Right. I mean, Ted Gaines had an entire, kind of dropped out 2 years into his second election because he thought he'd better go for the Board of Equalization. Right. That is just so wrong on so many levels. So we have Republicans drop out, which triggers a big special election. Then we have Republican assemblymen running for that seat, which triggers another special election. So that's a problem I have with the entire process. All
grabbing for the next ladder run.
Yeah, yeah. Where did we go from there? We went to, help me out.
State of Jefferson.
State of Jefferson. I mean, I have looked at that also because there is another Democrat on the ballot who's actually a State of Jefferson activist, and he's dropped out everything. He's still on the ballot, though. So, you know, there's really only one Democrat, and that's me, the one with the weird name.
That I always mispronounce.
But I see that where the State of Jefferson people are coming from, they are not represented. And they're not represented because the current representatives are shut out of government. So, you know, this district repeats the same mistakes over and over. It elects people that are not representing them. It's one of the poorest districts in the state. And we keep electing people that want, you know, everything for businesses and nothing for the people. So, for example, healthcare. I haven't heard a Brian Dahle or Kevin Kiley or any of the others say we need access to healthcare and we need it to be affordable. We have Siskiyou County and where I'm from, the whole Tahoe region, where the closest bigger healthcare facilities and many specialists are across state lines. So they're in Oregon and they're in Nevada. Have you heard any of them say, oh, we need to get insurances to pay for things over there, we need to fix the ACA so that it's paid for? So I think, people have, we're always talking about people voting against their interests, but I think specifically the rural voters have been voting against their issues for reasons such as gun rights. I have no problems with guns. I think it's in the federal hands. I think we're good in California. We have some programs we need to support, but I think what we really need in the rural areas is representation, and that's what we don't have right now.